What's up, my peoples? How are we doing? I am on my way to the gym. We are just 12 days out from the Oklahoma showdown, and man, am I feeling ready to go. This past weekend, I was out in Dallas for the Texas Pro and NPC Texas Classic, and it was an absolutely amazing time. I got to see so many friends. I got to see some people that I hadn't seen in forever, connect with ladies that I have been chatting with on the gram for quite some time, and I got to see my coach and check in with him, which was amazing to do just 2 weeks before my show. So now I'm just in the thick of it. We are getting ready to, bring our very best to the stage in just 12 days. And then obviously after that, 4 weeks later, is the Olympia. So I'm heading to the gym now. I'm going to be practicing my posing a bit. I'm going to hit glutes, of course, today, and then get the show on the road. So I'm going to get you guys a little in on my posing practice and just primarily put posing as the premise of today's video. Just give you my tips, tricks, things like that I focus on in order to bring my best presentation to the stage. So come on with me. We're heading to Rep Republic and we're gonna go get this in. Alrighty, I've made it to the gym, but before I hop inside, ladies, if you live in Oklahoma City or the surrounding area, I just wanted to plug this in since this is a video about posing. I and Masa Rogers, IFBB Bikini Pro, are holding a posing clinic here at Rep Republic Gym in Oklahoma City. It is on September 5th from 12 to 3 p.m. The cost is $80 a person. We're maxing out at 20 ladies. We've got half the spots filled, and we need you ladies to come because we are about to give you guys a wealth of knowledge. We're not just going to do the basic posing seminar clinics that typically happen here in Oklahoma. This is going to be hands-on, in-depth. We only have 20 spots because we want to keep it intimate and small so that we can give you guys our undivided attention to detail. So I'll plug that little thing here. If you are interested in signing up, just hit me up, hit Masa up, and we'll get you signed up. But now let's head inside and let's get to some work. All right, we're in here. This posing room at Rep Republic is absolutely amazing. Like, just look at this. We've got the mirror up there so that you're able to see yourself in your back pose. And then of course, full wall mirrors there, stage lighting up there, blacked out walls, amazing flooring, and we're gonna get on to it. All right, ladies, so when it comes to bikini posing, we've got many elements that go with it. If you work with me, I do have a specific 5-step process that I do give to my clients. So if you want to understand and know what that 5-step process is, you can book a posing session with me, or you can get in on this Oklahoma City clinic and you'll find out those details there. I'll give you a brief rundown here. I'm not going to tell all those secrets, but let's get to it. Alright, so first things first, we need to understand what are our primary poses when it comes to bikini. We have a front pose and a back pose. However, we have poses in between that do get highlighted and presented on stage. We have a transition pose and a glute salute. These are the names that I give them. They're not universally used terms. We use different terms for them. However, that's right. So let's go right into the front pose. When it comes to the front pose, what are we looking for? So here is your bikini front pose. All right, so what elements of this front pose are we looking for? So when we are looking at this front pose here, we are looking for an hourglass shape. We're looking for symmetry, and we are just looking to ensure that everything is balanced from top to bottom. So when you look at this front pose here, we have that hourglass shape created by our shoulders at the top, the lats that come down into that small waistline, the hip that comes out, and then the width of our legs. So when we're sitting here, we're trying to see, do we have our shoulders presented to create that top part of that hourglass. Is our waist turned to the side to make our waist and center of our hourglass look as small as possible while having some shape come out from that lat. Typically you'll see ladies flare their lat out in order to enhance that shape if they have not developed their lats quite yet. However, if you already have well-developed lats, you don't want to flare because we do not want to see this on stage. That there is going to get you knocked down on points because it looks a little too much for bikini. Essentially, what we want is our front pose to look nicely relaxed, even though we are posing there. So, when we come in, we're going to walk in and we hit our front pose. Arm off to the side, relaxed. We're not flaring and having a hyperextended, overly flexed arm. We want relaxed arm to the side, shoulders are level. Make sure one shoulder isn't too high or too forward because that throws off your balance and your shape significantly. Now, let's go into where are our hips turned. More times than not, you want to take your hips and turn to the side. Reason being is we're really looking at this glute right here that we're focusing on and making pop. That glute there, that pop is going to match the pop of your shoulder right there. Hand on the hip bone right here. Want to make sure, take this thumb, wrap it around your lower back. Fingers are curled and sitting on that side of your hip, just as so. Now when we come to our lower body, our feet need to be at a width that matches our body. But we're not just going based off of what the actual feet are at. We're also going to look at where's our knee compared to our toe and where's our shin bone. When I talk about this, look at the angle that is made with your arm that's on your hip. Look at the angle that is made with your knee. You kind of want that to match. Again, we're looking for symmetry. Symmetry from top to bottom. We don't want to go out and have our leg all the way straight here. That just throws things off. We don't want it all the way close here, because again, it throws things off. This angle does not match this angle. Same thing with the arm here. You don't want it too far up here, and you don't want it all the way down here. You want to make very nice, even shapes. And that is your front pose. Now, we're going to go right into the next step of our routine, which is that transition pose. What does a transition pose look like? Some people call it the S curve, the T pose, whatever you want to call it. It's the transition step between your front pose and your back pose. Just one of them. So, from your front pose, when you go into your transition pose, you're taking your bent leg and you're stepping it behind the front leg, just as such, and you're shifting the weight back, straightening that leg out, the front leg pops up, and now we're in what's called transition pose for me, or S curve pose, or T pose. The reason why it's called T pose for some is because your feet are in a T. The reason why it's called the S curve for some is because you're creating this nice S on that side with your curves. Same things apply for this pose as front pose, minus what the legs are doing. And I say this because you still want to present your shoulders towards your judges. They have to be even. You want to keep your waistline turned to the side so that you can show off this nice deep curve, tiny waist right there. Arms pulled in close to the body. We don't want them out here, but then we don't want to be like this either. Don't touch your body, don't touch yourself with your arms too much when you're doing transitions, just because arms do complement the shape just as such. Now we're going to go right into your glute salute. Alright, so from your transition pose, you're going to shift into that front leg. So notice that one leg is always straight, one is always bent, minus in the back pose. So it's a game of being able to balance your body weight from one leg and transition it into another one completely. Because this front leg, I should be able to swing it around. Same thing when I'm in my front pose, I should be able to swing this leg around. Now, when it comes to glute salute, what are we looking for here? Okay? So when we're sitting here in this glute salute, what we're looking for is really trying to put focus onto this nice juicy glute right here and to show off nice shape. Alright, we have shape from upper body to lower body. So we keep our hand pulled in here. We're not blocking the side glute like that. Alright, we're going to put it in here. We're going to be standing upright. Alright, we're pushing into glute, but we're not bending over like this. We still want it to be upright where the shoulder goes straight down along the leg. We don't want it like that, and we don't want to be leaning back like this. It shows nothing presentable there, so we want to be seated just like that. From a side view, I'm in transition pose. I push to glute salute. This is how my posture is. We're slightly tilted, but we're not all the way over. We're still upright here. Alright, feet, what are they doing? They're in a T still, but pointing towards the back with that back leg. So notice we're in front pose, feet are spread shoulder apart. We step to transition. Our feet are in a T here. We step to glute salute. Feet are in a T here, just starting to face the back wall as we get ready to hit our back pose next. So now, ladies, back pose. When we get into our back pose, what are we looking for there? So go ahead and show you it, and then we'll go over it. All right, so in our back pose here, what we're looking for is, we're looking for symmetry top to bottom. Notice that we have the width of our shoulders have to match the width of our feet down below. Not only that, we got to think about where are our feet turned out to. If you have your feet turned out way too wide, as such, it's going to flare your quads more, and it's going to make your stance seem wider. And then if you have your feet at just about 30 degrees, that looks much more even and symmetrical to my shoulders versus I turn these toes out. Now that makes my width of my lower body seem wider because the widest point is where our toes are turned out right here. So we don't want to turn our toes too far out if not necessary. I always say about 30 to 45 degrees is good, but usually 30 degrees towards back is going to be your safe point there. Now, coming up, the knees. We want to soften the knees just a little. We don't want to bend them that we look like we're squatting, but we want a nice soft little bend right here so that we're not hyperextending, which can really cause a lot of hamstring separation that we don't really want to see there. Alright, so nice soft knees. Some ladies may need to turn them out just a little to help pop your upper glutes. You need to play around with that. Alright? So we can play with turning our toes out, spreading our toes, spreading our feet, pushing the knees out slightly. Those are things that will be person-to-person specific when it comes to the back pose. Now, your hands, where are they placed? I typically like to place my hands right here, just on my lap. A couple of things though with these fingers, keep them closed. Do not spread them because it's very easy to start to see fingers from in between the legs, which is something that we don't want to see there. Alright? And lastly, when it comes to posturing from a side view, we want to make sure that we have an arch, but not so much that it's causing us to lean forward. From a side view, again, shoulders straight down to knee. That will let you know that you're upright, right where you need to be. However, be careful, ladies, because sometimes you can push and be too seated in there that your glutes start to stretch and flatten out. We don't want flat glutes. We want nice round juicy glutes up there on stage. So that right there is your step-by-step of front pose, transition pose, glute salute, and back pose. That's all for today. Come back and we'll go over these actual steps in your transitions and how to